Well, I'm going to tell you why I think Google Cars is not going to take off the way I think they got it planned. And actually, it's a danger to our freedoms in some ways. And well, for first off, some of the Google cars don't really look too cool. You know, that's one thing. I think a lot of people just won't like them unless they do something to them to make them look prettier and get all that crazy junk off the roof and stuff. And with the laser scanner, the Velodyne laser scanner, the GPS, and I guess you need all that stuff. But, you know, other things are probably the complexity of owning it. Now, what they got planned is they think they're going to have it like leasing, almost like a service. Like you don't actually even lease the car and it's your car, but it's maybe a leasing service. You just call a car to come to you, and it parks in your driveway. You jump in it and you go somewhere, which in itself could be a problem because then you got to like use up transportation to get it to you, right? That's another thing. But I don't like it because it can actually restrict movement in a lot of ways because who the hell's to say if it starts being controlled by big corporations, you know, the administration says, we don't want people driving so much. They can just shut it down, man. You know, that's one thing I don't like about it. So, but you know, actually with gasoline, they could shut it down. I guess the only thing you could really freaking say for fuel is either you own an electric car yourself and you got solar panels, or you have a diesel-powered car that can run on vegetable oil, right? But one of the other problems with Google cars is, you know, it's some of the situations you might have to drive into. I mean, how the hell would this work? You know, first off, how would you work like if you had to go through a muddy field and you're out there, I don't know, you had to cut or you wanted to go off-roading or something. But I guess that's even something fun in itself, right? A lot of people have they have Jeeps to sometimes go off-roading. That's why this SUV four-wheel drive craze has been going strong for the last 20 years. And, you know, even this other thing, too, like, you remember, like, when they said they predicted that all paper would be gone with computers because you could scan everything and everything would be on disk and all this kind of stuff or cloud storage or whatever, right? Yeah, hey, you know what? It's not happened. There's still a lot of stuff on paper because what? It's the hard drive, it's the monitor, it's a read-only memory, basically all in one. It's more secure in a lot of ways. Paper, right? In some ways, you don't have to have an electronic digital apparatus to read it. So, but you know, that was one of the failed predictions from before. Paper sure didn't go away because actually what happened? The speed of printers got better. So, I mean, you know, you can be making these predictions about Google cars in 25 years, 30 years. I think they're going to be more useful in urban environments, especially where there's no snow. Because, you know, they're definitely not going to work going through the trail. I can tell you that right now. I'd like to see how Google Cars works with that deal. Yeah, man, there's a boulder. Let's see, turn the wheel this way. That'll be a pretty damn complicated algorithm. But then again, anytime there's snow, how the hell is Google Cars going to work? I mean, it's, you know, any inclement weather, as a matter of fact. Even if it's slippery out, a little ice storm, a little oil in the road, right? And also, every time you come up to a crossing, sometimes it can't determine if a pedestrian is going to cross the street and it sits there for 5 minutes, you know? And then I don't think they really tested Google Cars. Well, you know, the thing is, it's an idea that I think it's going to come on stronger, but it's not going to replace everything in 25 years. I mean, there's so many damn predictions they had in 25 years it's going to happen. I don't think this is going to be one of them. But, you know, there's one thing that really has it in for it, I think, is where people want some individuality. Like, you know, remember the General Lee, back when it had the rebel flag on the top of the roof, and now they don't let it have it happen anymore because they can't have rebel flags because somebody said you can't have rebel flags. I mean, this is kind of reminding me of Google Cars, you know. It's like, hey, man, we got to have everything the same. It's got to be just a refrigerator box. You're allowed in white, gray, and a gate. You know, that's the other freaking color. And I like to see Google Cars do this. Jump. Now, if they actually had a 440 Mopar 69 Dodge Charger and with a rebel flag on it, and it was programmed by Google Cars, and you can actually set the jump parameters in it, you know, like you could actually just electronically set it up that it can make that jump, and you don't have to figure out anything. You don't have to be a pro stock car driver or anything like that, or You know, hey, that would be the deal. And the other thing is with Google cars, you know, you can actually run contraband in them. I think that's going to probably be one of the more useful things because you can put like moonshine in it. You know, that's how actually NASCAR started. You can put moonshine in Google cars and run it all over the country, right? What the hell? But, you know, one of the things, though, like they've always said about anything in the United States, it's about individuality. It's about being seen. It's about being different. Nobody wants to be the blasé ho-hum, everything's the same. And, you know, that's one of the problems with Google cars. You know, it looks like a freaking appliance, a refrigerator. You know, even though cars have gotten to the point where, well, I hate all the new cars today, man. Bunch of electronic junk. Even if they got them where they look good, there's still a bunch of electronic plastic junk all over the place, and it drives me crazy. I don't want to work on them. I don't want to have 3 PhDs to go work on a car. And actually, I think these damn Google cars are going to be 10 times worse with electronics. And if there's any kind of computer failure, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Hey, meltdown, complete shutdown. And how about rust and whatever the hell it is? Hey, these old Harley freaking panheads over here, you know, you can run them on anything. Points ignition, they just go, baby. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's like, as far as the recreational aspect of Google cars, I mean, you know, if you're just want to freaking, if you got like perfect weather out, it's not inclement, it's not icy, it's not going to be something that's going to ruin the electronics in the Google car, why not just take a bicycle? Especially something like this, maybe an electrically assisted bicycle or something. And, you know, how do you put the roof down on the Google cars? You know, how are you going to run a convertible with all that junk on the roof? You know, you can't put the roof down. You can't even have a sunroof. I mean, I think the only thing it's good for is if you wanted to drive cross country and it was boring as shit and you just, you know, you just program it and you could sleep and do whatever and not drive, you know. But as far as like driving like short trips, I don't think it's worth it, to tell you the truth. I think it's good if you, but then again, if you're driving cross country, the you know, the train car basically would be the thing. They ought to have that. To me, that would be the deal. That would be the deal. But you know, some things they always try to freaking change style on something, and you know, it's almost like, remember back in the '60s when Twiggy came out? Well, the more things change, the more things stay the same. You know, I mean, some things just never go out of style. Blonde with big boobs. And, you know, it's almost goes along with, you know, the old Ford Model A hot rod, flathead engine, you know, belching smoke and stuff like that. That was a bad car, you know, bad ride. I mean, really cool, you know what I mean? And it's like they try to change things. They try to say this is a new in style, like, you know, the anorexic Twiggy look. It just don't cut it. You know, some things never just go out of style, and that's really what it is. And, you know, everybody wants to be different. You know, I mean, maybe if they made Google cars with this, you know, tiger print seats, cheetah seats. Now, if I ever get one of those damn Sailrite sewing machines or something like that, maybe it'll just be the inside of my El Camino, except in cheetah. Cheetah print. But, you know, that's the thing. You know, with Google cars, man, it's like you're making it like an appliance. That's what sucks about it, man. I mean, it's too blasé, boring as all hell, man. No way. And I think, well, maybe people are going to start getting more like that because, you know, I don't even understand why they buy all these new cars the way they are today. They look like shit, to tell you the truth. But actually, I'd buy a 32 before I buy a new one today. Definitely. No, without a doubt. But, you know, everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be different. Everybody wants attention. Everybody wants to be special. If you're sitting in a white appliance box with a bunch of electronic gizmos on the roof, and that's called the Google car, you just aren't like that. You know what I mean? You're just not out there. You're not showing yourself like you're being special. You're this, you're that, and you're not being different from the crowd. And I just think that in itself is a big major thing where people aren't going to want them. Where it might appeal to is cheapskates. You know, if you're going to an office or something like that, you know, so and so is like driving to work, and you know, they pay so much money to drive to work, they might have a Google car strictly for traveling to work. That might be the situation. But then again, they might have another car that is their car that they want to drive. So I think it's going to come on where it's going to be in the marketplace and it's going to be prevalent in the marketplace. But as far as it even replacing most cars, I kind of doubt it. I really do. I doubt it. And I think the ones that are mainly be driving it are going to be people with serious money that are doing a lot of driving and they make a lot of money per hour and they want to be more productive while they're on the road. It wouldn't make sense for other people. Like, say, for instance, somebody's making $150 to $500 an hour. There's one of those high net worth workers. In that situation, they might be driving a car like a Google car to drive to work because it's well worth it for them. But if there are people of average salary, it just wouldn't be worth it because it would be a major investment to have a Google car with all the crap that's involved with it, because with all the electronics that's in there, I'd imagine there's going to be a lot of depreciation because it's going to be a nightmare for mechanics and probably something that's going to be crushed and disposed of once there's any kind of problem with the electronics, because the electronics will cost you more than the engine, which is actually the situation even today. If you buy HVAC controls for today, the little controls that are inside the dash, if you look at the list price, they're like $500, $600, if you don't get them out of a junkyard. If you go get a computer from a car today, it could be hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like $500, $800, unless you go to a place that maybe rebuilds them, or a junkyard, and they got to be reprogrammed. So in the case of this car, a Google car, it's going to be infinitesimally more complex, and it's going to be a disposable piece of junk, basically, in pretty short order due to the electronics as soon as they have a problem with, systems breaking down or getting older. So, when I'm looking at this, I'm saying to myself, it's a matter of, this panhead on Easy Rider is going to be freaking running for the next 50 years. And Google cars going to probably have a 5-year life turnover, and they are going to be useful to some people. Like I say, the high net worth, high dollar workers, not the wealthy. The wealthy ain't going to want it, but basically the people that are basically traveling to work, taking an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours one way, and they make a lot of money. And during that hour to hour and a half to 2 hours of traveling, or maybe both ways, it's 2 to 4 hours. They'll basically, both the round trip would be 2 to 4 hours. The Google cars would be more productive time for them. And being that they're high dollar people, that high dollar workers, yeah, maybe. But if they're just somebody who makes a lot of money, probably not. Probably not. I don't think it's going to take off with the average person at all. So, it'd be cool if the General Lee had Google cars on it. Hey, I want to program a jump. Zoom. Roscoe P. Coltrane's up there has a freaking what do you call it? A roadblock. Google cars. I want to press the jump button. There we go. Zoom. Right across the freaking thing, like General Lee. But General Lee Google cars, that'd be pretty cool. So anyway, so but that's another thing I was thinking about too, because man, if they could come across and say, we can't have flags and we can't sell flags anymore, we got to take the flag off the General Lee because the administration told all these retailers not to do that. They could do the same thing with Google cars, man. They could just press one button, shut them all down. In the middle, you'd be going along one day and somebody up there goes, well, you got to shut all the cars down. And it goes all screwed, right? I think it's just more Big Brother control, too. That's another thing. And a lot of people are more like, the American spirit is more about adventure, free spirit. Even if they don't actually do it, they think it. And restricting people's freedoms is like, they just don't like that, man. I can tell you that right now. That's not one of those Americana thoughts. So I don't think Google cars is going to take off that really as much as they think. But it's going to have use. It's going to have use, but not too much in the four-wheel drive sector, that's for sure, off-road. Not too much in the snow, not too much in the ice. And not too much for the fun element because it looks weird. It's a weird looking car. That's I gotta tell you that right now. So anyway, you know, the more things change, the more things stay the same, man. You know, in the hearts of real freaking freedom loving people, everybody wants to be different. Everybody wants to be special. Everybody wants something that's customizable, to be seen, to be special. Look at me, you know. I mean, to me, driving a Google cars is like a woman wanting to wear a burqa. Do you want to do that? No, you don't want to do that. You know, you want to show like, hey, look at me. I got my makeup on. I got my hair done. I'm wearing pretty freaking bikini, and I'm sitting on this rad bike, and I'm hot. So give me attention and everything else, and tell me I'm this and that. Now, if you're sitting inside a Google car, you're gonna see like a little olive head sticking out there, and like she ain't gonna get no attention. It's like wearing a burqa, you know. So anyway. I should be in charge of marketing new products. You know that? I'm freaking sick of these freaking pinheads. Anyway, just food for thought.